Good evening, YouTube. It is I, Danielle, better known as Danielle Happy Medium, and welcome everybody. I hope you are all well, and I hope you are all keeping okay. Let me just get into this stream to see what you can see, and then we'll take it from there. So I hope the volume's all right. Hope you can hear me okay. Let me know how that's going for you. Let me know how that's planning. Let's know how you are picking that up. I kind of get into the stream for some unsupported reason. Anyway, it's maybe because I need to come out and go back in. Give me a moment then. Not very prepared at all. Not very prepared at all. There we go. That's it. There we go. Good evening, everybody. How is everybody here on YouTube? Can you hear me okay? Let me know how that volume is for you lot. And let me know how that's resonating for you. Let me just knock that doofer off, and then we'll take it from there. I'm sure some of you have brought your questions, brought your comments. You know, it's always a pleasure to have you here, especially in this sort of problematic time with connections to, the world at large and the problems that we face. Hi to Jess. It's nice to have you here, Jess. Thank you very much for your comment as well. I hope you brought some questions along, Jess. I hope you can, you've got some bits and pieces for me there to maybe answer. I am going to do the intro, and I've just chucked the dates here away like a crazy lady. I thought, well, I'll get some clear paper, for when I'm talking to you lot, because I like to. Hello, Louise, love. I hope you're all right. I hope you keep okay. Thanks very much for joining us on the Facebook Live. I hope you're well, you and your family. I'm just writing this down because I scrumpled it up like a crazy. Hi to Angela. Hello, love. I'm just waiting for you lot to sort of join us and sort of come on in there, and then I'll just write these down like some. The volume's fine. Thank you very much for answering me there. I appreciate that, Louise. I'm grateful to you. I'm just writing these down on me bit of paper. There we go. Because I had been doodling on it, writing bits and pieces down as you do. So there is always a little bit of a delay at my end before obviously I say your questions and these types of things. Please do like the video. Please do share the video with friends, and certainly sort of get people involved is all I can ask of you there. So nice to see some of my old girls here, and obviously some of my new girls here who are already training with me. It's a pleasure to have you here with me, ladies, and I hope you are sitting in the power, and I hope you are doing all them things. Denise, hello Denise, I hope you're well. How am I? I'm really well actually, Denise. Thanks for asking. It's just as busy as always. Hello, the other Denise. I hope you're well, darling. I hope you've got some questions for me. Let me know how your development's going as well. I'd be really interested. It's a problematic time for us all, as many of you know. It's one of them problems. It's one of them issues that we face in the world at large. I don't think it's just me that's experiencing them issues and the delays and stuff having to be moved around, and my broad works had to be moved, and it's problematic, if that makes sense. Which especially when you've been 2 years in the biz trying to sort of get things in place, and all its work and targeting people, and it's sort of put a bit of a spanner in the works, do you know what I mean? Which, when you've worked that hard on, this kind of a broad work, been talking to lots of different people, working and moving dates around and making sure that everybody's lined up. Because it's not just, just when I'm out in Canada, I'm not just working in one church, I'm working 4 or 5 of them. So you're having to work in partnership with loads of different places. It's the same with Australia. We're working about 10 to 20 places out there, different churches, different sort of work places. So it's a nightmare, because then you've got to rebook all that back in, which is a bit of an annoyance. But I suppose if it's meant to be, it'll sort itself out, and it'll get itself put right. You know what I mean? It kind of get a flight, for love nor money type of thing. My holiday's up the spout, because I was obviously due to take a holiday at the end of the year, so that's up the spout or now. So it's just a very trying time. On a plus side, I've been redecorating. What else have I done? I've done obviously open circles and stuff like that for you lot, the training, and I am going to talk a little bit about that this evening here. And I'm obviously able to sort of spend some time more with, like, obviously my daughter, and I probably have slowed a lot, because I do a lot of work. I am a busy woman. As not many of you know, we're all busy. I'm no different than anybody else, to be fair. But I'm probably a little quieter at the minute, which is nice, and I sort of get my head into like some sort of like capacity, because sometimes I think when you're running at such a high volume and quite a quick pace, you can miss stuff. So it's been quite helpful for that, and I've sort of been looking over all ground, and I've just booked on for a new degree. I'm going to start a new degree in September. I'll give more information about that probably later on in the year. So yeah, I'm doing more education, more learning, not just in mediumship, but in other parameters. There's some new areas I want to go into. So yeah, I'm very excited for all of the new stuff that is coming in. Thank you very much for those who are sharing. I hope you are well, all of you, in capacity, and I hope you are keeping well and keeping, busy as possibly can. So Louise says, yeah, we're all we're all good, thanks. They're all going crazy, be nice later together, but I'm still working, so it doesn't affect me. Well, that is one of the issues. Like, I gotta be honest with you, you're sat on top of people 24/7, and if I suppose if there's issues and problems there, that's going to be a bit of a problem for you. Like, but I say I don't have that problem because there's only me and Abby here, and there's only ever me and Abby here anyway. So I tend to sort of I don't even have them issues, but I would suppose if you're sharing a house with somebody that you're not very happy with, that might cause you a few problems. I must admit, it must be hard for families, people who've got children. It must be tough going there. It must be, and I feel for them people. Like, I really, really do. So without further ado, I'll open the floor up to you, lovely lot, now to sort of get your questions in. As I'm doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the boring stuff, as you know, and then obviously you can, take it from there. So first and foremost, we have a open circle coming up on Thursday. You can find all the information and connections to that open circle via our Facebook page, which is Danielle Happy Medium. Then we have a Zoom class going on for English clientele, which is English and obviously European clientele. That is on the 14th of April, and that will be at 7 p.m. sharp. This is via Zoom as well, so all my training is done via Zoom. Then after that, the following week, we have a couple of open circles going on, again, for all you Buddha medium, them who are maybe looking to practice, those who are, again, this is all for free. The only ones that are paid for is the mediumship development, which is on the 14th of April. The open classes and open circles are obviously free. You don't have to be, you don't have to be paying for any of that, them types of thing. Then we have the 24th of April. There's only 2 spaces left on the English Zoom. Hiya, Dan. Hello, my darling. I hope you're well, Christine. There's only 2 left on the English Zoom. You can actually buy these via www.daniellehappymedium.com as well. So if you're interested in, if you don't have Facebook, you can certainly go over to the website and buy them from there. You can then go to the Pacific class, which is on the 24th for those on Pacific time. That is certainly for you lot, and that is only 2 spaces left on that one there. Also, again, bought via www.daniellehappymedium.com, or you can get in touch with us via Facebook. It's entirely up to you. Then for the Australian bunch, my lovely Australian and New Zealand lot, it's always a pleasure to be working with you lot out there. We have a Zoom class going on for you, and that is on the 13th of May. Again, you can buy all this via the website, which is www.daniellehappymedium.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever it is that you use your social media, because I know not everybody's got Facebook. So there's some of the classes that are going on. The open circles you will find via Facebook. There is talk of us putting them on the website, and that may happen. So it's definitely something that could be possible. Hi there. Is your volume turned on all the way? Mine is, and it's not very loud. Let me have a listen, Lillian. Let me have a listen, see what it sounds like. Because I turned my mute down so I can't hear you. It is a little quiet. I would agree, Lillian. Hold up a minute. Let's try that. See if that's any better. Let me know how that is for you there, Lillian. May want to turn it up a bit, Lillian, for you. It sounds alright, you know what I mean? What have I got mine on? It is a little quiet. I maybe would agree with that, Lillian. Yeah, it might be a little quiet. Let me know how that is for you there, darling. Let me know how that's linking for you. Thank you, Denise, for your question. Yes, the floor is now open for your questions, ladies and gentlemen, or anybody who may be sitting in the background. By all means, certainly don't be frightened to bring your questions. Sounds all right to me, like Lillian. Lillian, I've got to be honest with you on that one. Maybe try your end, stick some headphones in. Okay, so with connections to Denise, during a full moon, like the super moon tonight, yes, it is in Libra, I do believe, is the connection with the spiritual realm stronger or easier to connect? For me personally, I've got to be honest with you. All right, Denise, I don't personally think that the moon has anything to do with the connection to the spirit world. What it may do, and what it probably will happen, is it'll make your psychic awareness heightened. So it'll make you as the individual a little heightened. But do I think it has any connections to the. Hold up a minute then. Any better? Tell me what that's like. Tell me what that's like for you there, Lillian. For me personally, I don't think it really has anything to do with the spiritual realms. I don't really think that it makes it any easier for you to connect. It may make you feel easier, or it might be an opportunity for you to feel as if you can connect better. But what you have to understand, Denise, is that the spiritual realms stay the same all the time. They never alter and change. It's us as the instrument that's constantly evolving, constantly changing, constantly adapting, because we are living this physical world which has lots of different sort of stresses in it, lots of different sort of imagery in it, lots of different sort of bits and pieces in it. So it's us thinking that we can't connect. It's us that think that we're in the way. And I've said this for a long time. The only problem with your mediumship is you. It's not any other issue with mediumship other than yourself. So when we talk about like full moons and lunar eclipses, and we talk about Mercury retrograde, and we talk about all these types of things, what that's really saying is that there's a change in you as the individual, which may make it feel easier for you to connect. But actually, in all fairness, no problem, Lily, no problem at all. Really, in all fairness, Denise, does it actually make any difference to the spiritual world? No. But for you as the instrument to connect, yes, maybe it will be interesting. You might be out the way more, or you might find it easier to connect with the spirit world. But the spiritual world will just be the same. It'll never alter and never change. So I hope that answers your question a little bit there for you, Denise. Personally, I don't really think it makes any difference. I think if your connection's there, it's always there. It just depends on where the instrument's sitting and how the instrument's mind is at that time. So it might be a little clearer. It might be a little sort of easier for you because you've got that. Normally when we say full moons and all this, and you hear people say, oh well, it's easy to connect because of full moon and this, that and the other, that instantly will sit within your mind and you'll be like, yeah, that's right. So therefore you'll find it easier to connect. Then the next day when the full moon's gone, you'll be like, well, I kind of connect so well. So really it's more about the mechanics that you need, or the mechanics within your mind, or being told something. How much does that really resonate with you, and how much is that helping you to connect and not connect? Really the biggest problem we face is that you, the instrument, is in the way. Whether there's full moons, lunar eclipses, or whatever, that's really irrelevant here. It's ultimately your parameters and the labels you stick on your mediumship or your instrument of how much you can connect and how much you can't. It's like me saying you can't connect, Denise, and you would probably take that as true, right, and accurate. So the best thing to do is don't really pay much attention to what others say and think more about what it is that you think. If you think you can connect better in the full moon, job's a good one. If you think that you can connect every day of the week, that's also correct as well. So it's again a bit of a personal choice on that one. It's a bit of a personal thought and feelings. Me personally, I don't think it makes any difference. But for you, Denise, it's whatever sits comfortably with you. So I hope that answers the question a little bit for you there. Louise is saying, oh, with the open circles, is that on your normal page? As in the Facebook page, Louise? Yes, that is true, right and correct. It's in the event section of the Facebook page. All of them are listed up until the last one in May. I haven't got that one up. It's going to go up sometime this week, I would say. So certainly watch for that last one. June, we've got some new things coming in. So certainly, like I said on Facebook today, and I'll say this over here as well, I don't like to throw too much at you. I don't really like to give you too much because sometimes it can be overwhelming for people. And obviously I've got some new things I'd like to try in June and see how they progress. Plus, all this in the world could be cleared up in less than 6 weeks, and I could be sitting in Australia by then. So I don't like to overwhelm myself. I still like to leave that window open. I still sort of like to allow to leave them bits and pieces there, if that makes sense. So yes, but in answer to your question, yes, Louise, they are on the Facebook page in the event section of Danielle, the Happy Medium. So check that out there. All right. Lillian, still the same. Move the mic closer. That worked better last time. Much better. Thank you very much. Evening to Samantha. So hi, Samantha. Hope you're well. It's connected to what you believe. That's correct, Lillian. Thank you very much for that. So Lee Fawcett is saying, hi, hello, my darling. I'm looking for advice on linking with guides, please. I've done some normal calling signs, asking details, but struggle for things to do to help me build the relationship with my team. Okay, so first things first, Lee, I have to say, have you checked out my guide section in the channel? If you have not, I would certainly recommend that you go there. So what we first have to ask, Lee, is how are you connecting? Are you connecting clairvoyantly? Are you connecting clairaudiently? Are you connecting clairsentient? How is it that you're connecting to these individuals? So I have to understand a little bit more to be able to understand your personal sort of pathway. But for the general population, or for those who would ask me that question, there isn't a struggle. If you look at your question, you're saying you're struggling. So a bit like what Denise has just said to me there, you are what you believe, you are what you think. So if you're telling yourself, I'm struggling to pick this calling card up, I'm struggling to pick the details up, I'm struggling to build this relationship, then that's exactly what's going to happen there. Like, you're going to struggle. The best thing to do is keep a really good positive mind. So when you go to the spirit world, you are in the spirit world. When you're connecting to the guide, you are connecting to the guide. What you're getting off the guide is off the guide. You've got to learn to be believing in what it is that you are being given and work with that. Lots and lots of newbie mediums aren't always aware of the awareness. They struggle with that awareness of, am I making it up? Is it actually me, or is it actually the spirit world? You have to get in the habit. I will try all. Yeah, I do try all. So you try all of them, right? So you've got to believe that when you're connecting, that is what you're connecting to. I'm connecting to the guide. The guide is going to give me this, what X, Y, and Z. One thing I will say, and there is a few people that have approached me and asked me about why guides don't talk to them. Now, I have a couple of reasons for this. And one is it actually a guide, or is it a loved one? You've got to check that out there. You've got to ask them questions. Does that make sense? Lots of people say they've got guides with them, but actually they're people's loved ones, and they don't realize it. They don't realize that they're connecting to a loved one. So what I want to say to you is making sure you're questioning. It is one of the biggest things that people don't do. They don't question guides well enough. They don't question them enough, or question the particular energy that's come forward. So my first question, whenever a new guide enters my team, who are you? What's your purpose? And what is it you're here to tell me? Now, I'm always looking for three of them answers. Now, whatever answers I get back will then formulate me in an understanding of what kind of energy I'm working with. Now, that's on a clear audience link. If you're working clairsentience, then you want to be feeling the energy. Now, this is where we talk about awareness of energy. How much do you understand your energy, and how much do you understand the spirit world? How much do you understand the loved ones, and how much do you understand guides? You have to have an understanding of energy. So when a guide comes forward to me, they feel different to a loved one. But that took me some time to understand. That didn't always work for me every time. It was only as I developed that skill set more, did it become more apparent to me. So that would be another one. Then obviously the imagery. So if you're seeing them, I would be looking for, are you a guide? You want to be seeing either a nod, or you want to be getting some kind of sign, which is what you're talking about. This calling sign type of thing, X, Y, and Z. Me personally, I would double check to make sure, one, you're not talking to somebody's loved one, because they're not going to talk to you if you're looking for a guide and this is a loved one. But then you're not going to get the answers you're looking for, Lee. I've got to be honest with you on that one. If it is a guide, guides will normally talk to you. Guides are there to reassure you. They're there to fill you in. They're there to help you in every capacity. So for the fact that they wouldn't give you something, I cannot really grasp that. I can never really understand that. Also, you've got to understand as well that this relationship isn't built overnight. You've got to accept that. This relationship can take years to build. And even then, it's a constant evolution of your mediumship, evolution of your instrument. It's an evolution of who you are. And that can take lots and lots of practice, lots and lots of time, all of these types of things. So I want to say to you, you need to make sure that you check. My first thing would be make sure you're not checking, you're not working with some loved one. That would be my first one. Then the next one I'll be asking is them 3 questions. And if you're getting nothing back, I would then have to question why you're not getting nothing back. If you're not getting nothing back, it normally tends to lead me down the line of it's a loved one. That's what that tends to lead me down. Because normally guides will answer you no matter what. They'll give you everything you need in order to support their instrument. They don't want their instrument to be fearful. It goes really against the intelligence, if that makes sense. So me personally, I'll be checking to make sure that you're all talking to guides and not talking to somebody's loved one somewhere. Let me know what you think of that one. Denise saying, thank you very much. I do feel like my senses are heightened during a full moon, and this is why I wondered. No problem. Again, your preference, Denise. It's up to you what you want to do. It's definitely sort of your way of thinking, your way of doing, your way of working with that particular said energy, if that makes sense. So me personally, if you feel that your sensory system is heightened through that particular episode, great stuff. If you feel as if that's working for you better, go with that. It's entirely, remember, mediumship, there's no set rules here. It's one shoe or one book doesn't fit everybody. It's whatever works for you, and whatever you feel is beneficial to you is going to move you forward, and is going to help you connect in whatever way possible. Everybody has their own mechanics. Every medium, there's no medium that doesn't have their own mechanics in some capacity for their linkage to the spirit world, whether it be a shift of the mind, the power of the thought, or whether it be they need a door or they need whatever it may be. Everybody has their own mechanic to get them to the spirit world. And if that one works for you, Denise, go for it. That's my answer to that. I'm not here to tell you what's right, wrong, and different. That's too personal, and it only ever will be a free will choice of your own. So, hi to Deb, who's just joined. Christine's here. Hello, Christine. Jess is here. Do you still do house readings? Yes, I do. But at the moment, there's no availability, obviously due to the pandemic that's going on. And obviously, we wouldn't be looking to take any kind of booking like that at the moment, because honestly, to be fair with you, Jess, I kind of guarantee where I'm going to be in the next 3-month level and the next 6 months at this rate, because the way, as I was talking very early on in the stream, with connections, Danielle, your volume is very low. I just can't hear you for some reason. I know Thingy said the same. Hold up a minute. Right, let me just see if I can move this round. If it starts making some weird, funny noises, mate, don't moan at me, will you? Ooh, I don't know if that's right. Is that any better? Is that any better? Woo! Sorry about that. This isn't very good at all. Hold up a minute. Have a look. Hold up a minute. And I think I broke it now. This is all I need. Hold up. Tell me what that's at. Is that any better? Let me know if that's any better. So anyway, I'll talk a little bit. I think I nearly broke it actually, to be. It's just got its own mind. Anyway, so I'll get to Jess. Yes is the answer to your question, Jess, but honestly, at the moment, I kind of guarantee whereabouts, it would be. But thank you very much for your lovely comments in respect of my work. So thank you very much, and I'm very grateful to you for that. I only deliver what the spirit world wants me to deliver. I only give what it is that's given to me. I didn't really faff a lot with my mediumship. I've got to be honest, I delivered it in the way in which the spirit world gives it to me. So thank you very much for that. Let me know how that sounds for you lot. Let me know how that's going for you. Christine Coulson says, after doing sitting in the power in the circle, when you asked for a new guide the other night, my brother came to me. Oh, how lovely. That's better. Still the same. Deb saying that's better. Still the same. Better. Oh, is it better now, is it? Right. That's better. Can you hear me better? Is it better? Just want to turn it up a bit more. Okay. So we asked for new guides. That night my brother came to me. Well, how very nice. Now, we don't really have, family members as guides. It's scoffed at a lot in the industry, but I do believe, and I have got personal experience. My nana worked in my team for, many months. And then obviously, she, as I progressed and moved forward, and as she obviously progressed and moved on in the spirit world, she went off and did her own thing. And I found, other team members, as you do. So I do believe that family members can be part of your team and work with you in your team, always there, always helping, always taking care of us in some capacity, always sort of helping us out in whatever way. They would have helped us down here, so there's no reason why they wouldn't have helped us, over there, and I'm a great believer in, family members can and should be used as guides, and really, with guides, what we've got to understand with guides is it's only but a label. I've got a video coming up, how many guides, and I'm a big believer in, if we use the intelligence is that the spirit world knows what it is that we need in order to progress and move forward, and that they send the relative energies. You got to remember their energies, but they come in, obviously we can see them as people or as energies. What we have to understand is that these guides that come forward have all the knowledge in them in order to take us forward and be able to assist us along the path in which that we walk. And I hear many people who have like 10 and 12 guides in their team, or they've got 25 guides and 30 guides, and it's sort of, for me, and this is just my personal perspective here, I'm just going from sort of experience in my life. The more guides you have, the more people you've got to manage. And what happens is especially for a newbie medium, it can be very, very confusing, for all these guides. In the spirit world, from what I understand in the intelligence, the guides have all the knowledge they need. Right, I'll have a look at that in a minute. Like, give me a moment. So, for me personally, the more guides we have, the more you've got to manage, and the intelligence would prove that the spirit world knows what guides they need to send in order for us to be able to get the best from our spirit team. So for me personally, for the time being, it might be that you need that brother. That brother may come forward just to assist you and help you as the new guides in that step forward, Christine. There's no real problem there for me personally. Also, what you have to ask yourself as well is the guide that come forward, or your brother come forward, could it be that there is a guide up there, but he is natured or very like your brother in lots of capacities, in order so that you can accept that guide? Lots of people are quite fearful of guides, are very fearful of interacting with guides, because they're not quite sure, what they're doing, or whether or not these people are there for all sorts of right reasons. So sometimes the spirit world will use the best format possible to be able to get that information over. Same in communications. It's also the same with guides also. So check that one out there. All right. So let me know how you do. So let's go to, no problem, ladies. Let's have a look at Lee. So Lee saying, that's great. Thanks, no bother, Lee. I do link to them, and I have felt and spoken. Right. So let me put this to you, Lee. Is it the fact that you're wanting to feel more of a stronger presence, or are you wanting to feel, is it you want something more tangible? So, for example, here to the earth world, we can touch this, touch a pen, touch, the phone. It's very physically based. We can hold it, we accept it, we understand it. And with the spirit world, we don't have that sort of tangibility, if this makes sense. And from what I'm gauging and what I'm picking up from your question as you talk to me about them things, is that you're maybe expecting more than what's actually being presented. And sometimes what you have to do is accept what is being presented, and it could be an evolution of your mediumship, and also evolution of you as an individual, because you're hoping to build on that. So you're hoping to build on that. You're hoping, you've got to look at your questions. So you're hoping, what I have to say to you there is you're not allowing, and this is what lots of mediums do, and I've talked about this massively here on the channel. We're in a big rush to prove something to ourselves. Not trying to prove something to the spirit world, we're trying to prove something to ourselves. And what you have to do, lots of mediums are presenting, What can I present? What can I get? What can I do? What can I do? Instead of allowing the spirit world to do their job. They don't need our help in communicating. They don't need our help to be able to get the information over that they need to get over. What you have to do is allow that information to come in as it's meant to. You're meant to be the instrument. You're just meant to stand there and allow the spirit world to do their job. You're hoping to build on that. You're instead of just allowing that building to occur over a natural period of time. Now, I appreciate and I hear all mediums and I understand, and I've been down that road myself. You know what I mean? I've been down that road all of the time. And what I've got to say to you is that it's where we are in a rush instead of just allowing the spirit world to do their job. So now I'm thinking, okay, so you're asking, have you ever thought about saying to the spirit world, what would you like me to do? Instead of you going in there, and all mediums do that, they go in there and go, I'd like this, I want that, I want this to happen, I want that to happen, I want da 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 da. Instead of just going in and saying, right, I'm available, what would you like to present to me? Why don't you try figuring, changing your questioning may be helpful. Lots of mediums going in there with like, bucket lists, checklist, boo, 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 boo. These types of things. So therefore, I would say to you, go back. And instead of saying you would ask for this and you're asking for that and you're doing this and you're doing that, why don't you just go in there and go, right, I'm available. What would you like to talk to me about? And take it from there, Lee. All right? Christine saying, can spirit make you feel tired and drained? Because I'm very tired, nearly every year been to check out. Nope. Answer to that question in essence, Christine, no. Most definitely not. Spirit world do not drain humans because they use two completely different energies. The spirit world are using a energy that is of a heightened ability. Your energy is too heavy. Your energy is too dense. In order for the spirit world to be able to work with that, the spirit will work with the mind. So the spirit world, are you working medium, Christine? Or let me know. Yeah, just sit. That's right, Lee. Sit. Learn to let go. Lots of mediums have this perspective of how it should be. Learn to let go and just allow the spirit world to deliver to the best of their ability. Christine, let me know if you're a working medium or a psychic, will you please? Monique saying, hello, love. How are you, darling? How do I gather more information before presenting to the sitter? Right. So you did actually bring your question to me earlier on over Facebook, so thank you very much for that, Monique. Now, the first thing I want to say to you is one, is the newbie medium, we shouldn't be pulling information before the time, before the sitter's either in front of us or before we go on a demonstration. The reason for this is because it can cause all sorts of interference from us as the mind. What tends to happen is for us as the medium, when we start pulling evidence early, we can get lots and lots of dilution. So we can start and get involved in the communication. What we need to understand more than anything is the medium is to get out of the way and not to get involved any time before the time is right. So what I want to say to you is that what you mean by gathering information before the present sitter? Is that what you mean by that, Monique? Because for me personally, I would say don't do that. Me personally, if you're asking me my personal opinion, I appreciate if you want to do that, but what's going to happen is you're going to get involved. You're going to be getting the bits of information, and what happens is when the sitter sits down in front of you, it'll have been through your conscious mind, it's been through your, obviously, the subconscious, and then through the conscious mind. By that time, you started to add on to the information. So by the time you presented it, it's not the way it was given to you from the spirit world in the first place. It was never given to you in that capacity. Christine, tell me a little bit more about who's training you. Or wait. In fact, don't say that. Don't do that. You work with cards. Right. Let me help you with that. So, I hope that answers your question, Monique. Let me know, will ya? Let me know how that goes for you. Because I just feel as if that's not really the best way to be doing your mediumship. If you're going to do, that, you've got to be prepared to accept that the information may be diluted or it may not be presented to you in the best way possible, and therefore you may eventually destroy the very evidence that was being brought through from the spirit world. Let me know how you feel about that, and we can maybe take a bigger look at that question, Monique, all right? Christine saying they're my Indian guide who brought my brother. I feel like what is needed to see him, as I didn't get to say goodbye, so I feel like he came through to say he was all right and he was close. Well, that's nice, Christine. I like that. That's very nice. I like that a lot. And the spirit world's like that. They will help us out. They will, assist us, and they will sort of help us move forward. They will never want you to feel like you're in fear. They'll never want you to think that they're not talking to you. They'll never want to, even on a communication, if you're working with the spirit world to the best of your ability and your mind is in the spirit world, you will never ever ever fail in a communication, ever. The only time you fail is when you're on a psychic link, because there's no back in there, there's nobody sitting there with you, there's nobody helping you out. Where if you're working with the spirit world, they're always backing you, they're always helping you, they're always going to give you something to work with or work from, or from a said place, and then you would move on from that said place doing a communication. So I've got to admit, the spirit world, it's even, you'll have heard a saying, and an old medium said this many, many years ago: the spirit world will never let you down. Ever. They'll never, ever, ever let you down in any capacity. They'll never, ever fail you, as long as that's where your mind is. As long as your mind's in the spirit world, they will never fail you. And that includes guides as well. They will always want to reassure you that they're there, or they're helping you, or they're assisting you in some capacity, even as small as it may be. They will never, ever let you down. So I hope that helped you out there a little bit. So Lee saying, so you're just sitting with the intent to link with my team. Yep, that's exactly right. You, instead of going in there with all these questions in your mind all of the time, the best thing to do is to set your intention and go in with an open mind, and allow the spirit world to do what they want to do. Allow the spirit world to talk about it. It's one of the biggest things that mediums do, unfortunately, bless us, because we don't know any different, and because we're sort of looking for the answers. And what tends to happen is we get in with a full load of questions anyway. So even if they wanted to chat to us about something, they kind of get through, because we're already full of questions, if this makes sense. So the best thing to do, and this is where I talked about a meditative. There was one on. I put one up about sitting in the power versus meditation. Sitting in the power is allowing. Meditation is being told what to do. There's a difference. And when we learn to allow, and when we learn to sit, and when we allow the spirit world to do what they feel is important, what we have to understand is when we become sitters, when we become mediums, we become a server for the spirit world. We don't tell the spirit world what to do. They're telling us what to do, if that makes sense. And as much as we didn't really like that, it is actually like that. We are serving the spirit world. We are assisting the spirit world to do communications. So the spirit world knows what's best in order to get that information through. And I talk about this with connections to communications when we're doing evidence from the spirit world, allowing the story to unfold as it's being presented to you. Because the more you try to add in, the more you try to pull that information before the time is right, before you try to interfere, you end up interfering with the communication, the link to the spirit world, instead of just, there was a great saying, and it's true what it says: you give what you get. Because 9 times out of 10, what I think a red apple means is far different to my lady sitting in front of me, or a gentleman who's sitting in front of me. And lots of us will get involved and think, oh, well, apple means health, and they're talking about your health, when really it could be the dad grew an orchard, and he grew red apples. So we've got to be really mindful of how much we're getting involved. It's not our job as the mediums to get involved. It's our job to monitor. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's one of the hardest things for mediums as it is. And that's what sitting in the power will do for you. Instead of getting in there with bundle loads of questions, get in with an open mind and just allow, which then allow your communication. So try that one. Let me know how you get on with that. I mean, set your intention first. Give it about 20 minutes, half an hour. Say something, set your intention, and then get in. And just sit and allow the spirit world to do the things that they want to do. So let me know how you get on there, Lee, won't ya? So Christine's saying, I'm learning to be a medium. Yep. And you're working with cards. Right. So let me ask you a question, Christine. Sometimes I'm in a quiet place and I hear voices in my head as if I'm working in a quiet place. Right. So when was the last time you did a clientele, Christine? Are you reading for the general public? Let me know in the comments box, love, won't ya? Denise saying, right before I wake, and sometimes I hear my name being called. Okay, great stuff. I believe they are guides, not past one. Yeah, guides tend to shout your name, Denise. I would agree to that. Yes. They just let me know they're present. Yeah. So sometimes when I'm not paying attention to Chief, or sometimes when Chief's trying to get my attention, but I'm busy, you know, messing around doing other things, like not doing as I'm no, not that I'm doing I'm told, but like I want to do something else, but the spirit world want to do something else. I'll hear my name shouted, so that like you'll get me attention, so I'll pay attention to what he's saying, because sometimes because I was in a rush, and I got to be honest with you on that one. I sometimes can miss stuff. I can, right? I'm terrible for it. So he has to shout at us in order to like bring my mind back into focus, so that I can sort of re-listen to what it is that he's told us, or I have to sort of, it doesn't happen as much now. It used to happen loads, but like I've learned to be a better listener these days, and it was important, and that's what allowing with Lee did. I was like Lee. I used to get in there and I'd be asking loads of questions, and I want to know this, and I want to know that, and I want to know this, and then I started just allowing, which then made my work and my team and everything else feel a lot more stable, if that makes sense. I started allowing instead of trying to control. You can't control the spirit world. That's the best laugh of it. You can't. You've got the spirit world are in control. You're not in control. They're in control. And when we understand that the spirit world is in control here, and we're allowing, will things move forward massively for you in your mediumship. And with connections to your loved one, with the connections to your name being shouted out, yes is the answer to that question, Denise. They do. Chief does it quite frequently to me, and yeah, it's just letting them know. It could also be they want your attention. Could be that you're missing something, or there's something that they'd like to talk to you about. So you have to be aware that maybe there's more sitting to do, or maybe they're trying to teach you something. My advice to you, the next time you hear someone shouting out your name, my advice to you would be, I would shout back, what do you want? What do you want? And then you should give an answer back, Denise, or sit and find out. Just sit and allow them. Say, look, you've shouted my name. What can I do for you? What do you want to talk to me about? What's the problem here? And normally I'll get some kind of response back. So check them couple of scenarios out there for you, Denise. So right, let's have a look. So Christine says, sometimes I'm in a quiet place. I hear voices in my head. Yeah, so some people hear the spirit world externally. Some people hear the spirit world internally. So externally is through your own ears, internally is in through the mind. So yeah, there's no problem with that there whatsoever. No problem there, Christine. Yeah, same. Sometimes I do. Right. When was the last time you read for somebody, Christine? Let me know. Sarah Owen saying, I was on FaceTime with a friend and her phone would move on its own. This spirit would throw something at the phone. I heard them say what and something else. It happened for 3 days, my friend said. Right. Sarah Owen, it's right. One, there's no such thing as demonics. There's no such things as demons. There's no such thing as bad spirits. So we gotta get that one down there straight away, alright? There is no such thing as them things, Sarah Owen. Now I appreciate that your mind may be a little fearful. The phone's moving on its own. So let's talk a little bit about that. So when we first start out, we work very fundamentally on the psychic basis, on the psychic energy. So as we're working for the spirit world, or as we're developing, we will develop lots and lots of spirit energy, which is where it's not spirit energy, it's our energy, which is called kinetic energy. That's the main reason for it. Right, let me help you with that, Christine. Just give me a minute. So let me answer Sarah's question first. So it's called kinetic energy. That's the terminology for psychic energy. That's the posh word for it, right? So what I want to say to you is being, because I know you, Sarah, and I've worked with you, there's a lot of what I would call build up of psychic energy. There's lots and lots of work being done in the background with you, sitting in the power, these types of things. Couple that with the work that's been done spiritually, it will give you lots and lots of abundant energy, which can and does move objects. Now, there's nothing bad. It's not, the spirit world will never do anything to you in respect of they don't want to harm you. The spirit world's not going to fear you. They've got no reason for you to fear them, because if you fear them, then your mind's going to shut them out, and then they're going to lose another medium. The spirit world's not going to do that. It's not in their best interests to fear you. What you're talking to me about is there's a lot of kinetic energy going on there. There's a lot of psychic energy. So one, you need to slow down your sitting in the power. Two, you need to ease off on some of the energy. So whether you need to sort of do some human interaction things, whether you need to do some down earthly things. So you're too much building, developing, and there's not enough. So there's a lack of balance, right? And what you need to do is bring everything back into balance. The spirit world that I know, Sarah, won't do that. They don't have the capability. Do you know? Well, they do have the capability. That's not necessarily true. But do you know that it takes a fundamental, massive amount of energy for the spirit world to move objects? You know, we sit in what we call trance circles. We sit in seances. And physical mediums can sit for years producing phenomena, massive amounts of phenomena. And even then, it's not always like it can take months, it can take years for that kind of phenomena to be built through the physical medium, through the sitting of the sitters, you know, these types of things. It sounds more to me like kinetic energy. That's what it sounds like to me. I got to be honest as well. I feel like there may be an imbalance. There's too much development going on and not enough sort of, you know. So I'll tell you an example. So not yesterday morning, but the morning before, I woke up and I thought there was a dog on the bed, and it was like a flash, like that, quick as anything. It looked like a pug dog. That's what it looked like. But I looked at it, and I looked at it again, and it was gone. And sometimes our eyes, when there's a lot of energy going on, can play tricks on us. I don't mean that in an awful way, so please don't take it that way. I would say get some balance in your life. I would slow the sitting in the power techniques down a little bit, do a little bit more earthly stuff, and then find an equal balance. Not too much mediumship, not too much earthly stuff. And this is where lots of mediums gone wrong. They'll sort of do too much of one and not have enough balance. And I was guilty of that there and all. So that's what I would recommend. But I've got to be honest with you, Sarah, then there's no such bad things as that in the spirit world. There's no demonics. There's no bad spirits. There's no nothing. I've got to be honest with you, honestly. And that sounds to me like there's some fear in your mind because you don't understand how the phone's moved, you know, X, Y, and Z. To me, it sounds to me like there's too much kinetic energy going on. That's what it sounds like to me. And I think you're hypersensitive. That's what it sounds like. You're hypersensitive, which is making you see things and feel things that aren't necessarily there. So I hope that helps you a little bit. No problem, Denise. Christine saying 2 days ago I coined through as me for some reason. 2 days ago I coined through at me, right, for 2 reasons. Right, a month ago. Right, how long has it been? Right, I'm going to put something to you. When was the last time you sat, Christine, for the spirit world, or sat for yourself? I'm just waiting for you to answer my question. Let me know what you think of that there, Sarah, won't you? Please do give this video a thumbs up. Certainly do share it with friends. I'll be very, very grateful to you in that capacity. No problem. Find some earthly duties. Please don't take this wrong way, Sarah, but if you've got a fella, have yourself a swing round the bedroom. It'll be very beneficial for bringing you back down to the present earth, all right? Which will help to release some of that kinetic energy, all right? If you haven't got them things, then try and do maybe some gardening, you know, maybe do some, you know, arts and crafty things. Something that's going to bring you back down to the earth world. You're hypersensitive. That's what it sounds like to me. Hypersensitive with lots and lots of because you're a new medium, there's lots and lots of kinetic energy, psychic energy running around while you're trying to develop that into mediumistically, which most mediums go through that at some point in their development of hypersensitivity, where they're doing too much or too much of one and not enough of the other. A week ago, right. Have you read for friends and family in between then, Christine? Like, have you read for friends and family in the last 2 to 3 days? Any other questions while I'm waiting for Christine to reply? Oh, Louise is saying, I had my name shouted out by a guy when I was on the way to work and got told to go another route. Good job, I listened. Someone was something could have been me. Well done there. Well done there, Louise. That's a prime example. They're normally trying to get your attention. That's what I would say to that. They're normally trying to, get your attention in some capacity. Swinging around the bedroom, loved it. I could have said it. I could have said it a lot of other ways, Denise, but I thought, nah. You know what I mean? Right. So I'll tell you what you've done, Christine. Would you like me to tell you what you've done? Because I'm sure yeah, I thought. Right, you've linked to somebody's energy, right? And what you haven't done is unlinked. So when we do psychic abilities, when we do psychic connections, what we're doing is we're linking. So you're tapping your energy, because remember, you've given them permission. So you've tapped into that energy, but what you haven't done is tap back out. So that's why you feel unwell. So what you need to do, Christine, is you need to have yourself a little bit of a sit down, and you need to unlink yourself from the person you've been reading for. Because what's happened is we are what we attract, remember? So if that person is on the same sort of vibration as you, then that energy can stay with you, because that energy there is the same energy vibration as your energy. Remember, this is all psychic. It's got nothing to do with the mediumship link whatsoever. So you need to have yourself a bit of a sit down, and you need to say to yourself, that energy there that I've linked into is not mine. It doesn't belong to me, and it needs to go back. And therefore, your energy will then become your own. That you've got to be really careful with psychic work, and you've got to make sure that you're linking out of the psychic people, because otherwise, if you're of the same sort of vibrational match, there's no reason why you can't stay there. And I bet you're going to come to me in about 3 or 4 days after you've done that and tell me how well you feel afterwards. It's a common thing that I hear with lots and lots of mediums, lots and lots of psychics. Not so much mediums, psychics. Because what you're doing is you're connecting into somebody's energy field. And inside them energy fields, there's loads and loads of what? Crap. Because some people aren't in a good place. And if they're not in a good place, you can then. It's a bit like getting into bed with somebody who's got an STI or an STD. Is probably the better way to put it. And it's transferable through the energy field, through the energy matter. It's like a good person getting into bed with somebody who's got something. It'll be transferred over to you if you allow it. And you've linked into somebody else's energy because they've allowed you to do it. Nobody can touch anybody's energy unless it's allowing. And you've been allowed because you've tapped in. And then you've allowed that to come back with you. Got to be dead careful when it comes to energy work. Dead careful. Especially if there's no guides in place to monitor your energy and look after your energy. So bear that one in mind, Christine. I think you need to have yourself a little bit of a sit down, and you need to clear that energy field, your energy field, not mediumistic. It's got nothing to do with the spirit world. You need to go and clear your auric field, because you've got garbage in your auric field from somewhere else that you've linked into. So there might be a little bit of a lesson in there for you. So check that one out, alright? Sarah's saying, yeah, I started doing these things in the garden. I do mediumship every day. There you go. And that's what lots of mediums do, Sarah. And it's because we're very, very excited. We're very, very excited to start on that journey. And I know you're a new medium to me. I know you're a budding medium, and I know that, you know, when we're that budding medium, we really want to get things ticking along. We really want to get things moving, and we get very excited. So we're sitting every day, and we're trying to do this, and we're trying to do that, and we're doing this, and we're doing that, and X, Y, and Z. And it can, where we all become like a little oversensitive. And what then can happen is too much kinetic energy can actually move objects. I was talking about this on the Facebook page actually today. So people who talk to me about tellies that switch on and switch off, people who talk to me about, you know, objects moving around the room, and this type of thing. It's a lot of kinetic energy. It's building. It's a lot of psychic energy, which can and is and does move objects and does happenly them types of things. It's not the spirit world. You'll have probably seen the spirit world because you'll have moved your mind to the spirit world. So there's been half spirit, which has been your mind in the spirit world, and then the rest of it will have been kinetic energy. So I hope that's helped you out. And by doing them gardening and, you know, them types of things, that'll bring you back down to like the earthy world. It'll like bring you back to like here, if that makes sense, and learn to be more regulated with your mediumship. So maybe only sit 3 times a week on certain days at certain times, which will help you to allow the spirit world to come to you at that time and only that time. And they'll become aware that you're sitting at that time as well, so they'll keep turning up every time that you're turning up. And that would be, you know, I sit every day, but that's a routine I have with my team. Do you know what I mean? And that's something that I have with my people. But for a newbie medium, 3-4 times a week at the same time every time will be beneficial. And I know you were saying something about you sit on a Sunday, so it's certainly, you know, keep with that Sunday if that's something that you do. Maybe shorten it down to where you maybe sat for, I don't know, an hour. Yeah, only sit for half an hour now, or where you were sitting for 20 minutes. You know, maybe you're only sitting for 10 minutes. You know, just lessen it a little bit and see how you get on with that one. That would be maybe beneficial to you. How come I can hear that spirit on my headphone but couldn't hear my spirit guide? I've been trying and trying. It's a biggie, that. Lots of people want to know why it is they can't hear the spirit guides, but they can hear the spirit world. If you can hear the spirit world, then you can hear the spirit guides. What I will say to you is you're saying to me then, a bit like what Lee was saying to us, I can't. I'm trying and I'm trying. The best thing to do is to allow. So put that intention out to the spirit world and say, look, I would like to be able to hear you. Also, if you've got a spirit guide, tell them to speak up. They might think that you can hear them, but they can't. So tell them to speak up a little bit. It's like, for example, when, you know, somebody's talking and you sort of mishear what somebody says, go, excuse me, what did you say there? And they'll repeat it. It's a bit like that with the spirit world. So go away and ask them to speak up a little bit more. Say to the spirit, well, look, can you speak up here a little, because I can't quite hear you. Or say to them, look, can you find another way to get that clear audience over? Also, how are you expecting that clear audience? Are you expecting to hear them like you hear me? Because if you are, you're going to struggle with that one, because most of them we only ever hear one word, just like us. The majority, I'll tell you a story. There's a girl in my mentor, she was on my flex plan. She's just had a baby, bless her, she's lovely and all. And we were doing we're doing spiritual philosophy at one of my mentorship program, one of the sessions. And she kept saying, Danielle, I can't hear me guide, Danielle, I can't hear me guide, Danielle, I can't hear me guide. So I went to the spirit world and I said, look, what's the crack here? Like, what's the problem here? You know, So anyway, straight away come back to us that she's expecting it in a certain way and not in another way. So I said, right, oh, fair enough. So I said to her, we're going to do it, because we're already doing spiritual philosophy. I said to her, bring the guide forward, which you had a guide. And I said to her, I want you to tell me what the guide's telling you. She says, I can't hear her. I says, no. I want you to sit with her and tell me how it is that you get that information. And it come in through feelings, but the feelings actually come in through words. So the feelings were transformed into words inside of her mind. So what I want to say to you here is learn to be adaptable to how it is that you might interpret this information from the spirit world. Also, allowing is really, really important here as well, because the more you're trying to do, the more this, the more that, the more you're going to put some kind of block in place. You're going to not stop it, but you're gonna put something in place that's gonna make it even harder for the spirit world to get past. So the best thing I would say to you is the same as what I said to Lee, is to go in with no expectations and just allow it and see how you get on with that. All right. Let me know you get on. All right, Sarah. Christine says you have to go now. So night, darling, because I know you're from Australia. So you mean it must be late over there. It must be. Whoa. Have a look. I mean, terrible. My nose is running. Yeah, it must be about 10 o'clock over there, 10, 11 o'clock. Look, sleep well, Christine. Let me, I certainly hope you sleep well. Anyway, so any other questions? I'm just going to text Abby and get her to make me some tea. So thank you very much for those who have shared. Thank you very much for those who have gotten involved. And thank you very much for those who are liking the video as well. Also, and thank you very much for coming along to join me as well. Just getting some tea from the child who's downstairs. There we go. That's strange. My boyfriend could. You were talking like a little girl. What do you mean by that, Christine Kelly? What do you mean by that? You were talking like a little girl. So have you got connections to trance? Are you doing trance? This type thing. Let me know, Christine, won't you? I use sage and Palo Santo for cleansing and clearing auras. How often should you cleanse your aura? Daily. Me personally, if you're not doing psychic work, very often, very little indeed, because you don't need to, because you're not working with the psychic auric field, you're working with the spiritual realm. So making sure that your mind's constantly being moved over, there'll be no need for the auric field to be cleared out. If you're doing lots and lots of psychic work, but you have guides in place, just ask the guides to give it a clean over once hour, tidy it run. Job should be a good one, you know what I mean? If you feel like you need to use sage and these types of things, again, it's your personal preference. It's entirely up to you. You can use them things. There's nothing wrong with them things whatsoever. But personally, if you're not doing psychic work, Denise, there's no reason for any of that, because you're not sitting in somebody else's auric field. You're not tapping into that energy field. So therefore you don't need to be clearing an auric field, because you're not tapping into it, because you're working with the energies of the spiritual realms, which is two completely different parameters. If you're constantly sitting in other people's energy and tapping into their energy on a psychic vibration, then one, you're gonna either get the guide in place and get the guide to do it, or you're gonna have to sit and meditate and clear it of your own accord, which is cleaning that auric field and just expelling these things and da. That's why I don't really get into this psychic stuff. I don't really like it. I don't really like sitting in other people's energy fields. I gotta be honest with you, it's not my cup of tea, like. But it's up to you, Denise. Whatever it is that whatever it is that floats your boat in order to do them things is entirely up to you. But for me personally, if you're not doing psychic work, there shouldn't be any need for it. Anything that's yours can be cleared off. Say for example, you've had a bit of a bad day, or you're going through a bit of a tough time, or you're not quite in a good place. Meditation, sitting in the power, X, Y, and Z, etc., etc., etc. You can clear that just with daily meditations, working on the chakra system, working on, the keeping that auric field dancing, these types of things, movement, that type of thing will all sort of clear that auric field of your day-to-day stuff. Other people's day-to-day stuff, well, you shouldn't really be tapping in for a kick-off, but if you have been tapping in, you're going to have to either clear that off, or you're going to have to get the guides in to clear it off. Knee bothered out, knee bothered out. No, I'm not doing trans. It just happened to me. Nothing happened, Christine. Nothing. Therefore, it's got to be allowing. The spirit world can't do nothing without you allowing it. So you've got to subconsciously somewhere. I do ask me to guide me all the time. I do readings and I do cards. Yeah. So you've got to be allowing that in order for that to go on. The spirit world can't do anything to anybody unless you allow it. subconsciously, whether you've thought about it, whatever it may be. And this is where I talk about you've got to be really, really careful what you're thinking. Really careful. Because you've only got to think one thing for it to happen. So therefore, the spirit world aren't allowed to push on anybody, the same as a psychic or anybody isn't allowed to push on anybody's energy unless we allow it. So therefore, you've got to be allowing them things to go on in some capacity. And therefore, the spirit world, you've given permission in some capacity to the spirit world for them things to go on. Let me know how we get on with that one. When I meditate, I see a big black circle and blue in the middle. Is this my third eye? My question to you, Sarah, is do you think it's your third eye? It's not my job always as a medium or as a woman who shares knowledge to be telling you everything. Sometimes you have to work these things out for yourself and all. You've got to learn and understand that some of these things are of your own accord. Excuse me. Or they're of your own learning accord, in order so that you can learn from them, you can gain experiences from them, you can build your spiritual toolbox, as we would say, your knowledge toolbox. So my advice to you would be, what do you think, Sarah? Let me know in the comment box. Christian says, I do ask my guides to guide me all the time. Yep, that's right, but they can't stop you from linking into somebody. If you want to link in, they've got no power whatsoever to stop you, because you have free will over everything that you do. So therefore, all they will do is just monitor it, but they'll not be able to stop it, and they won't be able to take it off unless you ask them to take it off. The guides cannot get involved in nothing unless you give them power to do so. And they can't stop you from linking to somebody's energy if that's what you want to do. And this is where people rely heavily on guides and think that guides are there to protect them in every shape and form. Yes, they are there to protect you in some ways if it's mediumistic, but when it's human based, they're not here to get involved in human intervention. It's not their job to get involved in psychic work. It's not their job to tell you how to live your life. It's not their job to tell you what maybe you may not be coming in. That's not the purpose of guides. Guides are only there to help you with your mediumistic work, help you with communications, help you with understanding the spiritual realms more, helping you to access more of your mind so that they can work with you to the best of your ability. Keep the loved ones back while you're sleeping, but again, your mind's got to be in the spirit world in order for them loved ones to come forward. So the guides, there's a lot of emphasis put on guides. There's a lot of sort of, the guides are doing everything. They're not doing everything. They're assisting. There's a difference. And anything human-based, the guides just won't get involved in it unless you invite them in to take it off. And even if you keep doing and making them mistakes, eventually the spirit world will either they won't not help. They'll always help. But what they will do is maybe let me find the best way to put this so it sounds right. They may sort of not teach you a lesson. That's not the word I'm looking for. They may sort of do some of it and leave some of it so that you get it, you understand it, so that things. I will sit tomorrow and no bother. Hello, Patty. Very good evening. Very interesting Q&A. Thank you, Pat, for that. Any questions for me, Pat? Because normally you've got plenty. Normally, if you keep making the same mistakes, it's a bit like down here. If you keep making the same mistakes, especially in the spiritual realms, or if you keep asking the guides to step in and to help you and to fix your energy and to do this and do that, they will assist you, because sometimes you don't know what you're doing, and so therefore. But as you get further down the path and you're still making the same mistakes, the spirit world will then want to make you aware that you can't continue to keep going on like that. And that's evidential down here. If we make a mistake, once, twice, 3 times, but if you keep making that mistake time and time and time again, eventually you end up going to prison, or you end up getting into serious bother. Do you understand that? And it's a bit like that when you're doing your spiritual work. If you do it once, fair enough. Do it again, well, I should learn from that, or he learned a lot from that. But if you keep making that mistake again, the spirit world's going to turn around and go, well, look, this one's not getting it, so we're going to have to do something here so that they get it. So you've got to be more monetarian, and your energy is your responsibility. It's not the spirit world's responsibility, it's your own. And you're in control of your energy. You're not in control of what goes on in the spirit world. You're in control of your mind and your energy, but you're not in control of how quick the spirit world move you forward, if the spirit world move you forward, and when the spirit world move you forward, because everything's divine timing and the natural law. Not a problem, not a problem at all. So Sarah's saying, should I do inner work and meditate and calm down on the rest? Do off and off. Again, it's not my job to tell you what you think you should or should not do. All I'm saying is maybe just be a little bit more monetarian of how hypersensitive you are. If you want to do the inner work and do the meditations, yes, do them, but maybe cut them down a little bit. Do just 10 minutes of each. That should be enough. It's entirely up to you. If you want to continue on the way you're continuing on and you want to do them things, by all means, do them. It's That's not my job at all. It's up to you as to what feels right for you, Sarah. Ask yourself. So if you would ask yourself, sitting here right now, what is it that would feel best for you? How much would you want to cut back, if at all cut back? If so, where would you cut back? Feel for that. Feel for that threshold. Feel for that sort of, how much can I do with this inner work and how much of that without interfering? Or if you just start doing the gardening or swinging around the bedroom or whatever, you might still be able to do all of your information that you're doing now. You might be able to still do all of the sitting in it, as long as you've got something to counterbalance it. You've got something to interact with it. So it's no good doing all this work in the spirit world and not having something as a human in there to balance it out. So my advice is, keep doing what you're doing if you found something to balance it out. If not, and you haven't got anything to balance it out, then what else can you do? So maybe you need to cut back a little bit on that meditation, this type of thing, until you can find something that will help balance that out. So there's mediumship is a balance. You should learn to be balanced with your mediumship. Yes, plenty work for the spirit world, but also plenty human stuff down here as well, because ultimately, if you've got too much mediumship and not enough human, there's an imbalance there. It's not right, it's not working, and this is where lots of mediums, like I say, become hypersensitive, because they're overworked, they're overbalanced, they're underbalanced, they're not. Mediumship's meant to be an extension of you. It's meant to be an extension of your human existence. It's meant to be an extension of you as the individual, not where there's loads of the mediumistic ability and very little of the human. There's got to be that balance there. So my advice to you, Sarah, is if you've got that balance now, great, leave it as it is. If you feel like you aren't doing enough of the human stuff, then maybe slow down a little bit of the mediumship stuff. You'll never be behind time, you'll never be in front of time, and anything that's meant for you will never pass you by. Do you understand that? So you don't need to be sitting all of the time. Just sit as and when it's better for you. Or if you've got that human thing in now, still keep sitting and just do it that way. Learn to judge it for your own parameters. Let me know how that works for you there. Sarah's saying, when my friend says there's demons and bad spirits, what is the best way to go about it and tell them there's no such thing? Oh, dearie me. Right. Are you ready? So, if somebody come to me and said to me, and I have had them to me, I've had lots of people through me. I had a particular gentleman on the YouTube channel a couple of weeks ago who wrote quite a bit of stuff in respect of my protection video and me talking about the dark side of mediumship. I've got a video in the YouTube content, maybe check it out. And what I have to say to you here is there are minds we can change, and there are minds that we can help, and there are minds that want the help. There are other minds and other attitudes that do not want to see the things that are in front of them. And them minds we can only but talk to them. We can only but put that there, and then they'll either accept that or they'll not accept it. This is where then becomes a personal choice for you as the individual, Sarah. You can either stay around your friend and, you can be friends with people and not do spiritual stuff, right? You can. If you feel that may be impossible, there may have to be some alterations of who you keep your company with. All you can do is put that to this particular individual and put in and ask them, this is the parameters, this is what I feel, this is what I think. They will either agree with you or they'll not agree with you. And then you have to make some decisions based on that scenario as to where you want to go thereafter. That's the only issue with certain people who are fear-based and them who are not. And you can't make a mind become less fear-based. It's got to do it of its own accord. a mind is only as fear-based as the fear-based in it. You know, some minds are a lot more freer, other minds are still working on it, and that's the part of the journey. Some minds will be accepting, some minds will be even more advanced than some minds. Do you understand that? And it's just where that person is on their journey. We're not here to judge that journey, of course. We're only here but to exist and to offer up information, i.e. my YouTube channel. I offer up information. Some people like it, some people don't like it. Some people think it's too far-fetched, some people think it's not within their parameters, it's too far behind them. They're further afield than me, and that's okay. And that's where we have to accept that some minds are accepting, some minds are right here at the right time, at the right place, and where my channel sits. And then there's other people who are further more advanced than my channel or me as the individual. That's right. So I want to say to you that it's personal. It's a personal journey for you, and a choice that you will have to make of your own accord wherever you see fit. So I hope that helps you out there a little bit. Yeah, try that first, Sarah. See how we get on with that one. I wake up and start crying. Right, what do you start crying over, Christine? Let me know. Monica saying I'm new to spiritualists and trying to connect and want to start meditation group to help with confidence. When do I never feel or sense anything? Right, what with connections to meditation? So I talked a little bit about this on the video I did, I think, on Sunday. So lots and lots of people meditate and lots of people sit in the power. Lots and lots of people don't know why they're sitting. Lots of people are sitting because they get on, certain platforms, and they'll just find the first one with 55 billion views on it, think, right, this is the one for me. And really, there's nothing in it. It's a relaxation meditation with absolutely nothing in it to help you build the clairs or help you to build your sensitivity in order to be able to link to the spirit world to get a better understanding of the communicators. And this is where lots and lots of newbie mediums fall down. They're doing all this meditation, they're doing this, they're doing that, but they need further forward. Then they haven't learned now, they ain't gained now, there's nothing there for them. So what I need to say to you, Monica, is first, make sure that when you're sitting in the power, you're sitting for a particular reason. So, i.e., your intention base. So, if you've got guides in place, so again, I would recommend you check out the guide section in the YouTube channel playlist, or the attention to clairs, which is also in the guide list in the YouTube channel. And what I would say to you is one, if we're going to do the sit in the power, we need the intention based, and we need to get the guides in place, and the guides will then take you on specific journeys, or they will take you on certain sort of things, allow them to do their job. So they know what it is that you need to develop. So you would go and say, look, I'm looking to develop, I don't know, clairsentience. And then you leave that half an hour, 45 minutes, and then hopefully we should do and will do, the guide will bring something to the forefront for you to understand with that. If you don't want to do it that way, then you need to be sitting in the power techniques of different social media platforms and making sure it's designed to broaden the clear range. It is there to help you develop in some capacity. So they're the two main top priority things. The very difference between meditation and sitting in the powers is, like I say, one, meditation is you're told what to do, which sort of puts me off a little bit, and I'll tell you why. Some meditations I've seen. I think you were in my open class last week. And the meditation was, we looked at the tree. That was what we looked at, if I remember rightly. And the tree was to develop not only clairvoyancy, but it was also to develop clairsentience. Remember when I said feel the tree? That's learning to understand, or the feeling, and then there was the smelling, so there was a link for smelling and stuff like that. So we were exercising the clairs, or we were looking at how we could improve the clair range through that sitting in the power, done in the quiet. There was no music, no nothing. Some meditations, or guided meditations, I say, is where they're telling people what to feel. They're telling people what that bark feels like. They're telling people what the leaves smell, and that's not going to develop your clear range. That's not going to help you in any capacity because somebody's telling you it. What we want you is to figure it out sort of for yourself, so we can guide you, but the rest needs to be sort of your own accord, or it needs to be done in a way or mechanic that you get. And that's what I've seen with some meditation. I'm not saying with all, but I have seen that with some meditations which really isn't beneficial to the medium. So if you're going to do these guided meditations, make sure they're not telling you what to do. Make sure they're just guiding you. So we're just walking along the path, the sun is shining, but then I would want, me personally, I would then say, what does that sun feel like? You would then start to make mental impressions. When you looked at the sun, you would pick it up on a clear range. You might see it, you might feel it, you might, we're going to walk up to a river, and how does that make you feel? Some of them, I say, it's the water's running and it's crystal blue and it's crisp and fresh and green, and they're filling all the blanks in for you. We don't want to be filling all the blanks in. We want you to be getting some kind of understanding of your mechanics. We want you to get some understanding of your development, so that when you go up to that river, you know what it feels like without somebody telling you what it feels like. Because otherwise, when you're doing a communication, you're not gonna know, because somebody's telling you, which is no good when you do a mediumship, because you've got to have that clear range developed in order to be able to get over what the communicator's trying to tell you. So I hope that helps you a little bit then, and for those who maybe are wondering about them types of things. So Christine's saying, I just woke up for no reason. Right? So you have guides in place, is that right, Christine? I think you said you did have guides in place. I'm not mistaken. All right. One, this is, you've got to be allowing it in order for these things to be going on, right? You've got to be, because the spirit world's not going to do it otherwise. But my advice to you would be to go away and have a chat with your team, or go away and have a chat with your guides, because for me personally, the medium, you've got to take some responsibility. You've got to, as a medium, you've got to take some personal responsibility for your mediumship. When I meditate, I say a door. Right, what kind of door? I'm not a great fan of doors, I've got to be honest with you on that. Right, what does the door look like? Just waiting for Christine. You need to have a word with your team and find out what's going on. That would be, that's where I would send you. Me personally at the minute, and plus I don't train you, so it's not really my biz to be getting involved in this. Do you know what I mean? It's not. My advice to you would be, go back to your team and find out what's going on. Doors, I'm not a great fan of doors, like I've got to be honest with you on that one. But I know some people do work with them. I do know that they are there, but they're not my cup of tea. Like, makes sense. Need bother, Sarah. Do you think clairvoyant exercise is good to do as a stay something for 30 seconds, close your eyes, and see if it can help with spiritually? No, that's not what the 30-second is for. Do you think clairvoyant exercise is good to do? So staying in something black door, right? Do you know who it belongs to? Is it yours or is it somebody else's? Right, let's have a look. Do you think clairvoyant exercise is good to do? So stay in something for 30 seconds and close your eyes and see if it can be done. Right, is this like intuition, like cards and stuff like that? Is that what you mean by that, Sarah? It could guess that one, Sarah, if you're looking at like cards and these types of things. It could be guessed, it could be guessed. Clairvoyant exercises, there's a couple I do, which is well, they're done in my classes, do you know what I mean? But they've got specific things in them that I would be looking for when you're doing the communication. You know what I mean? I think there's a couple of girls who may be sitting on here who's done a couple of my Zoom classes, and there's one or two that I do for specifically just for clairvoyance. In fact, there's about six actually I do. It depends. It could be guests, Sarah. maybe not. It's not an exercise I do with my student. I know you haven't done that one with me. Um, but you know, it's entirely up to you. It's whatever it is that you feel is beneficial to your clairvoyance. But if you're asking me, I don't think you could guess it without saying it. You could maybe know it or feel it. Do you know what I mean? It might be beneficial. It might not. Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, I thought that. It's there when I meditate. Right. Do you know who door it is? Do you know whose door it is, Christine? Is it yours or does it belong to somebody else? What's the crack with that door? See, I'll be asking that question, mate, straight away. What's that door doing there? Who's that belong to? What's that doing there? You've got to ask some questions, you know what I mean? If you start saying stuff, you've got to start asking questions. Like, what's that doing there? Why is this? Can you explain that to me? I want to know what that's doing there. Is it mine? If not, why is it there? Is it any business there? You've got to be asking these questions, do you know what I mean? You've got to be asking, which again helps build that relationship. It builds that trust with the spirit world. My advice to you, Christine, go to your spirit team and find out exactly what's going on. That would be my advice to yourself. Definitely, I would be going away and sitting down with my team, and I'll be finding out exactly what's going on over there and what's not going on over there, and get some answers. Because, like I say, I don't train you, and to be honest with you, this sounds to me like it's a job for you and your team. That's what this sounds like to me. And there's some bits and pieces that I think need to be talked to with your team, and get them answers back from them. All right. Thanks. I don't want to do it. It's a waste of time. I don't want to do it. It's a waste of time. If you think it's a waste of time, Sarah, it's just my personal preference. It doesn't mean that I know any more or any less than anybody else. It's just I don't particularly like them exercises, me personally, because they can be guessed. You know what I mean? They can be guessed in every capacity. I think you're talking about the ones where maybe see a number, or these types of things. They can be guessed, or the clairs can be used in that capacity. So try them. They're fun. If anything, Sarah, the fun and I'm suppose when you get them right, you get a bit of an excitement about them. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you know what I mean. By all means, go for it. But they're not exactly exercises I would use in my classes. But that's just me. You know, maybe I'm a little different, and everybody's got to start somewhere when the teaching, or whatever it may be. Remember, no teaching's bad teaching. It only teaches you what you want and what you don't want. I'm a great believer in that. I don't think that anybody knows any more than anybody. Wait, let me rephrase that. I wouldn't say that people don't know more than anybody else. It's just that other people are further along their journey than others. That's all it is. And everybody in every one of those have started in some place. Everybody, and they all progress. Nobody's sitting in the same place as where they were sitting 5 years ago. Everybody's knowledge and experiences and development will alter and change, and I'm sure that mine will over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, for as long as I'm down here on the earth plane. And maybe what I talk about now, well, some of it will resonate, some of it may not now. Do you know what I mean? So my advice to you is go with what resonates with you. I say it all the time, and I'll stand by that till probably the day I die. I talk a lot about here of my own experiences, my own knowledge, because I don't know everything, and I never will know everything. And go with what feels right for you. If you're having a good time with them, and that's ever by all means, gone for it. And if it's fun, you know, what's the harm in a little bit of fun? Do you know what I mean? And like I say, when you get them right, it only improves you. It only excuse me, only helps you in some capacity. She been watching Boris, Sarah. We've all got to stay 2 meters apart, every one of us. In fact, most of us aren't allowed through the front door, love. You know what I mean? Lots of us aren't like through the front door. So my advice to you would be heed the warning. You know what I mean? In every capacity. Any other questions from anybody else who's maybe in the background there? Nope. It's been a pleasure talking to you all. Thank you very much for joining me. Anybody else? Or are we all done and dusted? Sarah and Christine's kept me very well busy, entertained. I cannot thank you enough, Christine and Sarah, for all of your questions. So thank you very much for that. I'm eternally grateful to both of you. Any other questions from anybody else? I know there's a few just come on, so I'll wait a couple of minutes in case somebody else has a question that they have for me. While I do that, we'll talk a little bit about the classes I've got coming up. So I've got some Zoom classes coming up, English time on the 14th of April. There's 2 spaces available for that. You can book them via www.daniellehappymedium.com, or you can join us either via Facebook or Instagram. I have a Pacific class going on, which is in the USA. So for those, and that's on the 24th of April. Again, you can get that via www.daniellehappymedium.com or via the Facebook. All there's links and stuff in the description box below. Australia, for all my Australian. Here's Megan. I'm confused. Hello, Megan, love. So, and then obviously there's Australian on the 13th of May, and that is connected to again, the www.daniellehappymedium.com or Facebook, or descriptions and things are in the description box below. So Megan Rose Medium saying, I'm confused about psychic versus medium. Right, what you're confused about. So psychic is a person who reads the auric field of the human. A medium is a person who bridges the gap between the two worlds. So they move their mind, shift their mind between this world and the next world. It's been amazing. Need bother, Pat. I think there's a few more questions still to come, so I'm looking forward to them. Does that answer your question, Megan? Psychic is somebody who's reading the auric field. Your information is coming from the auric field. You've tapped into the auric field, which is the little auric field round about the human body. Medium is a person who really gets information from the spirit communicator. Hello, darling. I hope you're well, and I hope you're keeping all right. It's nice to have you here with me. How is things out there in the USA? All right? Haven't spoken to you in a couple of weeks, I don't think, or a fortnight, I think. Last time I spoke to you. Does that answer your question, Megan? Let me know. Right. So, my answer to you is do you move once you move your mind, so once you say power of the thought, I'm off to the spirit world to work with the spirit world, that's it. You moved your mind. Now, also, there's differences. So, how you working? Are you working clairvoyantly? Are you working clairaudiently, clairsentience? How's that? How's your clair range? Which clairs are you working with, Megan? I don't know, Christine. I haven't a clue. Could be my daughter's downstairs shouting on. I can hear her downstairs. She's making some racket down there. She must be on the phone. Or on the phone to somebody. Could be quite that, Christine. It could be that type of thing. Is still there, Megan? Just waiting. I hear it all the time, Christine. Usually clairvoyant, clairsentient, don't know how. It's alright, don't worry about the spelling. Don't worry about that. Right, so have you seen the video in the channel Psychic Images versus Mediumistic Images? Which is a clairvoyant one. So it's looking at your imagery and how your imagery will look differently when you're working psychically versus mediumistically. There is a video in the channel in connection to that, and also psychic feelings versus mediumistic feelings. They're all in the channel. I think they're in connection. They're in the Clair Range playlist. Check that out. All right. Yeah, I would agree with that, Megan. I've got to be honest with you, it is a bit slow. It's been a bit temperamental. They've done some updates on OBS, and it's I think everything's on a go slow at the minute because I think everything's sort of I think with the coronavirus and the pandemic and that's going. I think everybody's just on a go slow. I've got to be honest. Check them 2 videos out, Megan. You've got my email address, so if you get stuck, email me. All right, sweetheart. With connections to all of the questions you can. Yeah. Have you seen them videos? Yes. It is really slow, this chat tonight. I don't know what's the matter with it. I'm going to have a look at this OBS malarkey. Okay, I will. Yes, you've got my email address. Email me if you have any other problems. All right, check out them 2 videos. That should give you a bigger insight. If you get stuck again, come back to me. All right, because I can hear my tea being put out now. So I'm going to love you lot, and I'm going to leave you lot. I want to thank each and every one of you for getting involved. Thanks very much to all those who've liked the video, shared the video around. Thank you for all your questions and stuff. If anybody has any questions for me, you can get me at the back of the website, which is www.daniellehappymedium.com, or the email address is in the description box below, or it's running along the subtitle thing in yellow. It's been a pleasure as always, ladies and gents. Thank you very, very much. And hopefully I'll see you all in a fortnight, 3 weeks' time. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great evening no matter what you do. Bye for now. Bye, bye, bye.